The day will unroll as it unrolls. Things will get better. Life can be better.
Welcome back to part 2 of our conversation with Feng Shui expert Kathryn Wilking. Last time, Kathryn shared how Feng Shui can transform your life and space. Today, we go even deeper, from real success stories to her journey as an author, speaker, and podcaster. She also talks about Feng Shui in the digital world and how she stays inspired through these times. It's an inspiring and practical conversation you won't want to miss. Let's dive in. Can you share a success story where Feng Shui made a significant impact on someone's life for business, Kathryn?
Well, I have, more than 10 years of success stories, so I'll just touch on a couple of different ones. Some people call me because their child isn't sleeping in their own room all night. What do they do? Well, I can come in and help you. And they report that their little kid is now staying in bed. And sometimes it's little things like they've got the wrong colors in the room, or they've got superhero posters in the room, or they want to know what mommy and daddy are doing in their room and they feel like they're missing out. So we've got to put some things into their rooms so that they can stay in their room and they're happy. Other people are looking for business issues. One lady, Maria, took one of my group classes, and when the classes were over, I did a follow-up with each one of them, and Maria was saying she still needed some new clients. She's a stager and she was looking for some new business, and so on the Zoom call with her, I just looked into that little porthole and said, hey, let's check that out, and what's that doing there, and why don't we do this and this? We did a few little tweaks with Maria, and within 30 minutes the phone started ringing, and that's one of the best testimonials I can have. So she reported back some really, really good news. Just recently, a music teacher who teaches piano out of her own home was looking for a new client. She said, oh, Kathryn, if I could only have maybe 4, 5, or 6 new clients, that would be great for the new year. And so we did some magic in her place, and she reported getting those 6 clients she wanted. And then she called me a couple of weeks later and said, I've got 2 more clients. I got 8 clients. And just this week, I'm hearing from her again. Oh, here's what's happening. I got another client here. So all within 2 months of her goal of 4 to 6 clients, she's got 9 clients in her space. So we've just made her a little bit more visible to the universe, and the phone started ringing, and that's really, really cool. My personal wins as well too. Every time we've flipped a house, as I said, we've put money into it and made it the right way. So I have a personal testimony. When we sent to Vancouver, how many houses ago, we actually cleared $1 million selling that house. And I had these grandiose ideas for this house. Stephen, who's very handy, as I said, he's an engineer. I wanted a round patio, and I wanted a round fence for the patio. I wanted a big round glass pergola, put some twinkle lights all around that. A showstopper, an absolute showstopper. Then the next house we went to, we had a lakefront property. We put together the boathouse and a dock on the boathouse, and the curved steps were just so, and the colors were just so, and the trees were planted just so. So here we make another more than $500,000 on that house when we flipped that one here. So I am just delighted. I cannot but ever believe I'd be in a position. We're here at another house that's worth way over $1 million and a pool on the lakefront of Lake Ontario here that I hope we're finished moving around here, but we're fixing it up Feng Shui style so that we can be comfortable and fulfilled in life. And like I said, I cannot believe we come this far. And I do owe it all to Feng Shui because it takes away the guesswork. When I was first decorating, I would put for example, vases. Okay, that looks right, or that doesn't look right, or try this and try this and try this. And with Feng Shui, I know what to do, I know what works, and I know why it works. The numbers, the colors, the textiles, scale, everything. It makes a huge difference.
What inspired you, Kathryn, to write these books, and what message do you hope your readers, our viewers, could take away from all of these?
And yes, I am an author. I've published 3 books now, and I've got tons of blogs and tons of YouTubes and videos and all kinds of stuff here. So what inspired me to write my first book Well, I was training to be a Feng Shui consultant, and so that meant more studies and more flying around and more just absorbing like a sponge all this cool stuff. I just never run out of ideas with Feng Shui. But I went to this class. It was about the 5 elements, the Chinese elements, the 5 of those of wood, metal, fire, earth, and water. And so I've been learning about these, not only about their magic colors and their secret numbers and their auspicious spaces in the house and all the rest of the stuff, but this was the personality style. And it was so, so cool to match the personalities with the properties of the earth, because now we got a little tangible in our head. We can figure that out, right? When I was told to look at myself, okay, on this chart, and then I was looking at all the people in my family on this chart. And I was looking at all the people that I'd worked for, the ones I got along with and the ones I didn't get along with. And there's a pattern forming here. It was so, so cool. And when I dissected my own immediate family, and I've told you a little bit about my family ahead of time. I was female and ignored most of the time and told I was stupid, and they teased me and picked on me and all the rest of the stuff too. Here I'm looking at this chart, and I actually stood up in this classroom. There wasn't a lot of people. I stood up and said, "Oh my gosh, this isn't my fault." It's not my fault. It's not my fault. I was not the one to be picked on because I was dumb or stupid. It was because my whole entire family is on the opposite side of the element cycle. They're way over there in the metal side, and I'm over here on the wood side. Now, you can't get to it right now, but that was a huge, huge aha moment. That meant, aha, I'm just different. Okay, nobody got me. Nobody could figure out what to do with me. And that was a huge, huge piece of information that I'll tell you a little bit more down the road about how you can get a hold of that chart and figure that out for yourself.
As a speaker and a podcaster, what's your approach to connecting with your audience and delivering impactful messages? We're very curious. What also inspired you to start your podcast, and what are the topics do you love to explore with your guests?
Well, first of all, it's practice. Practice is a good thing. And you got to figure out what's the message and what you want people to do. One of the things that I did for practicing, just like when COVID hit, I had all these blogs. I had maybe 300 blogs at that point, and I started reciting them on Anchor Radio. I was reading them like a bedtime story or something like that. I was just reading them all to get the speech patterns correct and show some type of enthusiasm in my voice and excitement and animation. And sometimes I'd listen to them and say, that was a good one, very well. And they're still out there, but they're all practice to me. And when I was ready to go live on podcasting and on the speaker's floor, webinars, I do webinars through here as well too. Everybody tells me I'm well-spoken, they like my voice, they like that excitement, and that's really good. It's always so surprising. People tell me, they write me letters and tell me how exciting it is to see how Feng Shui fits into every little slot of life, whether it be lifestyle, health, vitamins, selling things on your business. You can find a thread. Feng Shui is in there and it works. So that's pretty cool.
How do you see the role of Feng Shui, Kathryn, evolving in modern times? We are in the digital age, well, especially with the rise of the digital age and digital space and remote work. How do you see Feng Shui evolving?
So how do I see the role of Feng Shui in these crazy modern times we're living in right now? Feng Shui is timeless. It never goes out of style. It still has principles and theories and tools and all these kinds of things. And what you need to do is allow them to morph and to grow and tap into your insight. Oh, this is how it's going to be. This is what we need to do. Relates to this kind of stuff. It's continuously growing and evolving with the modern times. It really, really is. People are becoming more aware. They're becoming more insightful. They're paying attention to themselves, what I like, what I don't like. They're paying attention to the environment. They're saving the bees. They're saving the trees. They're actually being aware and conscious of sustainable energy and buying organic and all this type of stuff. It all relates back to Feng Shui and good, clean living. And what you'll find is that we need Feng Shui more than ever right now. It's 2025, and there's just so much chaos, so much anxiety, so much, fear-mongering stuff out here. What if? You know what? If you find the peace within, you can find the space that you're in charge, you've got your supports around you, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. And because you're going to be fine, you're going to have compassion and love to pass on to others. And that's most important of all, because Feng Shui encompasses everything on the planet. So together we can make a difference with Feng Shui. I just love that. I love that. I love it. I love it.
With everything that you do, Kathryn, with this multitude of passions and interests, how do you stay motivated and inspired, especially during these challenging times?
Yeah, you've got to have the lifestyle. You've got to have something. This is all sorted out, by the way. This is all Feng Shui, my whole background here. It all has a meaning and a purpose, and we've got all the 5 elements looked after right here. So I can explain that all to you. Actually, it's in one of my books, so you can have a look at that as well too. But it's all got a purpose. Every morning I do something, I call it Ode to the Universe. And basically play my singing bell. I might want to use my crystals, but either way, I'm going to give thanks and gratitude that I'm alive. Thank you for the day. I don't know what's coming up today, but I'm sure I can handle it. And you know what? I even pose a few questions into the universe, and you never know. That insightful little tweak or that buzz or that antenna or whatever things goes off and goes, oh, okay, everything's going to be okay. And I start my day believing that everything's going to be okay. And I really don't know what's going to happen completely. I can plan, but you never know. You just have to roll with it. The day will unroll as it unrolls. So be patient with each other. Be patient with yourself. A Feng Shui tip I can leave you with today. First of all, I wanted to tell you about clutter. I know it's an old term, but you really have to take care of things, okay? Look at every box, clear your desk. You know what? All of this stuff that you need on your desk to work is good, because that's employment, That's good stuff. There's movement. That's job security, right? It's the stuff that sits somewhere and gets dusty and tainted, get the faded papers, or they've been in a box so long that the smell is bad or whatever. This is the stuff that's going to bring you down. This is the past. And as much as many of you love your past and you love your memories and all the rest of the stuff, if you're not enjoying these things, they go stale. And you really do need to continue to move stuff around. If you buy a couple things to wear in the closet, then get 2 of them out. If you change sizes, then get rid of the old stuff, okay? If you've changed marriages or different things, you move that along. If you've got children growing up, they don't want to see these little baby pictures of them anymore. Put them in a little album and a keepsake, but don't get them out and get them dusty and dirty, and then you got to throw them out again. Take care of your clutter, and you'll be able to open new opportunities. They will come knocking at your door. Believe me, you've got to trust me on that one, okay? The second thing that you can do is take the PEP quiz, the Personal Element Profile Quiz, on my site, kathrynwilking.com. That's how you get a hold of me. Or just go straight to the site, the Personal Element Quiz that I shortened to the PEP Quiz. I love the name, PEP Quiz. So that'll show you your strengths and weaknesses within those elements we mentioned a little bit earlier. And you're going to identify with some of your supports that you have and things you're good at, and some of your weaknesses. Now, it's not to point out that you're no good here. What it means is here's a growth opportunity to get better and expand a little bit more in some of the other elements that you're weaker in. Or if you're in business, who do I hire? I don't want to hire somebody just like me. I want to hire somebody on the opposite side of the cycle, so you can balance it out. People have different skills. So those are 2 things that you can do right away today. Clean up your clutter, start cleaning up your clutter, and take the PEP quiz so you'll know a little bit more about you and gathering supports that you need to thrive in this crazy world.
For our audience who want to learn more about your work, Where can we find you, Kathryn? Do you have a website? What are your socials? Where can we find you?
I have a newsletter that comes out a couple times every month. You can sign up for it with my website, kathrynwilking.com. And I have Feng Shui Fridays. It's a free forum. It's a Q&A. You'll hear about it Fridays, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. I have other services. We can work one-on-one. We can have a booster session if you want. We can have a group of 3 if you have a special project you want to look at. Maybe you just need to sell the house. You just need to clean up the garage or something specific like that. Or there's 12-week programs that we can look at every single area of life. There is 9 areas of life, and to balance all of those, when I heard about that, I thought, oh man, I'm a single mom, I can't do this. 9 areas of life. Well, you don't have to work on them all at the same time, because once you get a couple of them all sorted out, the ripple effect takes over, and things will get better. Life can be better. So stay in touch. Thank you for listening today. I'm Kathryn Wilking, and I want to remind you that you too can have a Feng Shui day every single day. Bye for now. Creators Value.